As I said in the beginning, we have 3 phases of the workshop today. The first one's mental toughness, followed by mindfulness, which Dave is going to talk about, concluding it with focus, which is where I'm going to finalize the workshop.
Words end up impacting the athlete to the point where they can't perform well. So even though, the other athletes should not be saying negative things towards the opponents, that's going to happen. It's a normal aspect of sport that they're going to have to deal with. And we need our athletes, our children, to be able to hear that, block it out, relax themselves, and move on so that they continue to have consistent peak performance. All right, so this presentation, we're going to focus on the 4 C's of mental toughness: challenge, commitment, control, and confidence. Challenge is what we'll focus on is seeing adversity, the ability to see adversity and change as opportunities versus threats. Commitment, we'll talk about the ability to keep promises and even keeping your goals. Control, we'll look at whether or not you believe you're able to shape what happens to you and your ability to manage your emotions. And lastly, confidence, do you believe that you can handle adversity? All right, so those are the 4 C's. I also wanted to mention that mental toughness does not only have to be reactive, so meaning after somebody says that negative thing to you, after a failure, after a loss. You can also use mental toughness proactively by seeking out new challenges. What can parents do? So what parents can do is pay attention to your child, measure their reaction to change. If you believe they are mentally tough, great. Everyone, I'm sure even all of us on this call, could even still increase our mental toughness. So pay attention to some of the areas that we mentioned earlier where they could continue to grow. Measure their reaction to their mistakes, their failures, and sports stress. You can work on developing their confidence, control, focus, goal setting, relaxation before, during, and after games and practices.
So to get right into it, what is mindfulness? Here I have 2 definitions about mindfulness. The first one is the non-judgmental focus of one's attention on the experience that occurs in the present moment. The second one is the cognitive process of consciously paying attention to one's thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations with non-judgmental awareness. And I've bolded a couple of points here that I think are really important when we're speaking about mindfulness. Non-judgmental is one of them. I think it's really important when you're mindful, you are just focused on being kind to yourself. Focus is another one that I know Jamila is going to speak on later on, but being focused and paying attention to what's going on in the present moment, I think is really important. And finally, paying attention, the focus must be on your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical sensations. So flow state is essentially what we try to achieve when being mindful. The RAIN meditation is a little more about processing your emotions with curiosity instead of judgment. But the scheduled check-in is a brief check-in. It could take no more than 10 seconds where you do a scan of your body, you think about what your thoughts are, and then you acknowledge your emotions. We have the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset on the far left. We have win or learn, control the controllables, break up the match, and training versus trusting mindset.
The fundamental concept of focus in sports psychology refers to the athlete's ability to concentrate their attention on the relevant cues and block out the distractions. Parents, I know there's some parents on here, there's some coaches on here, and also former players. I know most of you probably played a sport a time or 2 back in the day, all right? Being able to block out those distractions are the one thing that will help you perform at your highest level. We know that. But understanding what layers of focus that go into it is something that we may or may not know. So I want to just give you guys a little bit of the information so that way you understand where your child is.